Hello, and welcome to my channel, and thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe. I am Rand Wise. So today, I finally came up from beneath the bottom of the ocean with another one. And this one is called The Last Stop. Now, just a quick rundown. 4 teenagers, 2 teen girls and 2 teen boys, embark on a trip on a train, call themselves taking a joyride to a place called Sellertown. And when they end up in this town, you guessed it, they end up back in time. Because that's what the Addict series is all about. And by the way, don't forget to do some of my others. If you have not seen the A Town to Remember, if you have not seen The Book Room, if you have not seen Race Against Time, and I got so many of them out there. Oh yeah, the theater. You really should see the theater. I mean, that is one of the best ones. Now, that's a special, so it's going to be over 2 hours. My specials are always like hour and a half to 2 hours or so. So, when these teens go back in time, they find some strange things happening in this town. Now, these kids are 15 and 16, and they come from the year 2026. So they have no idea what 1986 was like. Okay. But as always, the ending is always the grab you. Okay. Well, without saying anything else, I hope you like, subscribe, and enjoy. And don't forget to share it. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I got some real good stories, and they're very entertaining. Okay. So anyway, let's get started. Chapter 1. Geo waited near the station for his friends. His mother was sending him to visit his uncle for spring break. He hated the idea of being away from his friends for an entire week, so when he asked Dale to go, and Lyndon, Dale's cousins, also wanted to come along. Geo was 15 years old. Dale and Lyndon were 16 and Keisha 15. They would have a blast. His uncle owned a huge house, had no children, and Geo was his favorite nephew.
Taking a trip?
Came the voice of an unfamiliar person. Geo turned around. An old man was pulling a cart and was addressing him.
Yeah, I am.
The old guy was surprised Geo heard him because he was wearing those earbuds. But Geo was in the middle of changing his playlist.
Where you going? Where you going to?
Excuse me, sir?
Oh, never mind. Never mind. But you know what? You should go to Sellertown.
Sellertown? What is that?
It's a beautiful town. I just been there. Just got back. So, try something new. You might like it.
The man disappeared as quickly as he arrived. Geo looked each way, but the old dude was gone. Someone suddenly placed their arm around his neck. It was his friend Dale. Boy, was he glad to see him.
About time y'all got here. Where y'all been at?
But we here now, though. We here now.
Y'all got your ticket?
Yeah, we bout the party. We bout the party, Dale said, holding up his tickets. The train arrived. They stepped on. When the other 3 chose coach seating, Geo said,
I got us a private compartment. What y'all doing?
They headed to the compartment and shut the door. Dale flopped down on one of the benches.
Oh, this feels good. This is good living right here.
Geo laughed. Keisha and Lyndon sat on the other bench. They watched the city as the train made its way out of the tunnel onto the elevated track.
Yo, why this old dude come up on me and tell me that I should go to Sellertown?
Geo said jokingly, but he was a bit curious.
Sellertown? What the heck is that?
Dale asked.
I don't know what it is.
Geo said as he scrolled through his phone. That sounds familiar. Lyndon finally spoke up.
No, you didn't. No, yo. Lynn always talking about she heard about stuff.
That's because I'm an avid reader. Yo, he don't even know what an avid reader is. Keisha said with a laugh.
Y'all, might I remind y'all that y'all are in my cabin, and don't forget that.
But you know what though, G? I can't even find Sellertown nowhere on the GPS. What's up with that?
It's obvious it's on the way to my uncle's house.
Yeah, and you know what, y'all? We gonna be riding all night long, Keisha said, resting her head on the back of the seat. And then Geo said,
we can stop in Sellertown though, y'all. I don't think it will hurt. Y'all down?
Yeah, why not? Dale said dismissively as he scrolled through his phone. Yeah, I can say I'm in too, Keisha said. Lyndon did not say anything. Not that anyone noticed. They were all engrossed in their phones and TikTok while she enjoyed nature as she watched the trees while the train smoothly traveled. The sun was beginning to set. The train finally made its first stop after 2 hours. The teens decided to step outside during the stop, which was only 10 minutes. It was getting dark. Keisha and Dale decided to grab something for the group to eat. Once they settled back onto the train, they ate their food. Soon, everyone was asleep as the train made its way to their destination. But Lyndon kept waking up every 30 minutes. She had never slept on a train before. She thought she heard the door of the compartment open, but when she opened her eyes, no one was there. The reflection of the lights from outside bounced off the door of the off-white structure. Chapter 2. The train continued into the night. When it made another stop in one of the towns, the youngsters got breakfast. It was nearly 7 a.m.
I asked the conductor how long it take until we get to Sellertown.
Geo said as he joined the others in the cabin after going to the bathroom. The train began moving again, leaving the town. Yeah, and what he say? Keisha asked.
He said another 3 hours.
Finally. Around 10:22 a.m., the train was arriving. They heard the conductor's announcement.
This stop is Sellertown. We are now arriving in Sellertown.
Geo and his friends grew excited as they exited the compartment and headed to the nearest exit. Geo used his hand as a sun visor against the blazing sun. Hey, did you guys notice no one else was on that train? Lyndon asked as they all stepped onto the platform. Then she noticed nobody was at the booth where the platform was. This just did not seem right to her. She approached the conductor as he made his way to the front of the train and said, "Excuse me, sir.
Yes, can I help you?
Where exactly are we?"
You're at Sellertown.
Oh, is there another town after this one?
Sorry, young lady. This is the last stop.
I'm sorry, but wait a minute. I was under the impression there was another town.
This is the end of the line.
The others were so engrossed in conversation a few feet behind them on the platform. Hey guys, y'all, perhaps we need to go back.
This is the last stop.
The conductor said once again, and Dale piped up.
Wait a minute, last stop. Whoa, last stop.
He said as he had begun noticing the lack of activity around them.
Look like we in like some deserted town. Whoa.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Yes, it does look like a deserted town. Wait a minute, Dale, you agreed to come out here with me. I ain't make you do nothing. Geo grew defensive.
Well, I trusted you, dog.
Oh my
That's
God.
because we all trusted you.
Wait a minute, y'all stop.
No.
Stop.
I'm going back.
Say,
back. I
guys,
ain't staying out here.
Guys, listen. We can't go back.
Why not? Why can't we go back?
She had noticed just a few seconds before the train was gone. Just disappeared. Nobody even heard it leave.
Oh, no, this ain't happening.
Dale said as he ran parallel to the tracks as if he could catch an invisible train. There was no sight or sound of the train.
Where in the heck that train go just that quick?
I don't know. I turned away just for a split second and then, boom, it was gone. Dale reached into his jacket for his phone, but it was not there.
Yo, my phone ain't in my jacket. Yo, my phone is still on that train,
he said as he frantically checked his other pocket. That's when everyone noticed their phones were gone too.
Mine's is gone too.
Yeah, mine too. What's going on? Wait a minute, we out in the middle of nowhere and we ain't got no phones.
Well, maybe the train will come back, Geo.
Hold up. Did you guys hear what the conductor said? He said this was the end of the line. Lyndon said, but they were too busy debating to hear what the man had said. Therefore, standing on the platform is not going to help us. We may as well start walking. Someone has to be here. She started towards the town. There were stores, a small shopping mall, auto mechanic shop. Homes and cars parked in front of the homes looked old. Yo, y'all, did we step back in time or something? Geo said as they came up on a phone booth. He picked it up, but there was no dial tone.
Yeah, man. Geo, who you calling?
I don't know. The deeper they arrived in the town, the more interesting things became.
Y'all know what? This is creepy. I think we making a big mistake,
Keisha said. They arrived at one of the few houses on the street that was near the stores and knocked on the door. Geo tried the knob, but it was locked. There was a 1984 blue Chrysler parked in the driveway. He tried the car door, but it was locked.
Y'all, we need to go back. This is really getting kind of scary,
Keisha said. But the three of them ventured further into town where they came up on Sellers High School.
Hey, y'all, look, the door's open,
Dale said excitedly. The wayward quartet ran towards the open door, hoping to find someone there. It was Saturday, and Lyndon thought maybe there was some extracurricular activities going on. The hallways were devoid of human activity other than the four intruders. They hurried up and down the halls, hoping to find someone. This place looks completely deserted, Lyndon said as they entered the gymnasium. The boys grabbed a couple of basketballs and began shooting hoops. The girls sat on the bleachers watching the boys. The locker rooms were empty. A few of the lockers were open, and there were articles of clothing left there. What do you think is going on in this town, Keisha? I don't know, Lynn. It just looked like everybody packed up and left like 40 years ago. But Lyndon wanted to know why. Why was the town deserted? Chapter 3. It became obvious to the teens there was no one in town after they had walked a few miles deeper into the town, but they stumbled upon a large blue house with many windows. They headed to the door, and Dale turned the knob and it opened, made them cautious as they entered. Hello? Hello? Keisha called out. Don't you think if somebody was in here, we would have knew it already? Dale said. Well, you never know, though, you know. They headed into the large kitchen. Everything in there was jumbo size. A large refrigerator that looked like one of those industrial ones, a stove with 18 burners, a flat griddle, and a large prep area. Inside the pantry is where they found canned goods, bags of beans, and bags of flour. Dale found cans of sardines. Don't eat that, Lyndon warned. Why not? I'm hungry. She showed him a can of corn that expired in 1987. He opened the can of sardines anyway. He gave it a smell test and said, Seems fine to me. Ooh, you're gross, Dale, Keisha said, but when she realized the sardines probably were okay, she grabbed a can herself. They drank the juices that were stored in the pantry, and then they headed upstairs. There were at least 2 beds in each room. You guys know what? It's 14 bedrooms in this place. Lyndon said there were at least 4 bathrooms with 4 showers and 4 toilet stalls. Then they headed up to the 3rd level. There were no bedroom accommodations there, but that's where they found the arcade machines. Hey, look at this, y'all. Oh man, Gio. Do they work though? My mom said she loved playing Pac-Man when she was growing up. Gio looked around and found the power cord. He plugged it into the wall and turned it on. Awesome. Man, that's awesome, Dale said as he plugged up the centipede one. I wonder why this town is so old, Lyndon said as she propped herself on the window seat, watching the street from her view. She did not see one soul in sight. It was getting dark, and she was beginning to worry that they would never make it out of that town. Keisha sat in the window seat next to her cousin. She saw the same thing Lyndon saw. She looked at her cousin, and they both knew it. This was strange, very strange. However, the boys continued playing arcade games. After they played games, they were exhausted. The foursome crashed on the shaggy blue carpet, and soon they were all sleeping. Chapter 4. Wake up! Wake up, everyone! Wake up! 6 a.m., everyone! Wake up! Wake up, everyone! Open up! Come on, let's get up, everyone! Came the voice of a young girl. Lyndon thought she was dreaming until she opened her eyes and saw her cousin in the bed across from her. But the surroundings were unfamiliar. She looked around the room, kept hearing these knocks at the doors. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Come on, let's get up. Breakfast time! Breakfast time! Breakfast time! 6 a.m., everyone! Keisha! Keisha! Lyndon said. Keisha finally stirred and opened her eyes. What's going on? Why are we in these beds? Keisha looked around. When she realized she was in a strange environment, she snatched the comforter off her and sprang from the bed. They opened the bedroom door. Girls were headed towards the shower rooms. The place looked different than it did last night. I would like to know what is going on. I don't know, but nobody was here last night and now this place is full of people. What's up? They headed to the shower. Afterwards, they put outfits in the closet of the room where they slept. But the clothes looked like something from the 1980s. And when they stepped into the hallway on the way to the first floor, it looked like a 1980s explosion. Lyndon wondered where the guys were until they reached the first floor, and there were long tables in the large dining area. They were sitting at one of the tables with several other kids, looking as lost and confused as Lyndon and Keisha. They grabbed some breakfast and headed over to where the boys were sitting. Guys, what is going on? Lyndon asked, and Dale answered, oh no, you tell us. And what's with these clothes? I only had my clothes that I had on yesterday or whatever day we got here. Something is very wrong. The bus stopped by to pick up the kids in the large house, and it was around lunchtime at school that they realized they were living in the youth house for juveniles who did not have parents. They met a guy named Mike who lived in the youth house, who proved to be a great navigator. He advised them dinner was at 6 p.m. They were allowed to hang out until 8 p.m. on school nights and 10 p.m. on Friday nights. So, y'all trying to check out a movie tonight at the drive-in? Mike asked. I've never been to a drive-in movie, Mike. Lyndon said. Where did you say you from again? We from Ohio. Gio said. That's a long way from here. We almost in Canada. What brings y'all all the way up the West Coast? We was on our way to see my uncle and we ended up here. Oh, man. Chapter 5. Before long, they were visiting drive-in movies, listening to Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, the Force MDs, and other 1980s groups. The music blasted in the skating rink as the skaters sped around the rink. Jill did not know how to skate, but Keisha and Lyndon did. Y'all, rollerblading and skating ain't the same thing, Dale said. Trust me, you can do it. Come on, we can do it, Lyndon assured as she put on her skates. She and Keisha skated out onto the floor and went around the rink. A boy around 16 approached Lyndon and wanted to skate with her. Sure, we can skate together, she said as they skated arm in arm around the rink. Gio was not too happy about the boy asking her to skate. He liked Lyndon, but he was always too afraid to tell her. He decided to try skating for the first time in his life. He headed out onto the rink, barely able to keep his balance. Hey, 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 he said as Lyndon and the boy approached him coming back around the rink. You don't know her. You do not know her. The boy frowned at first before smirking and saying, and you do? Yeah, she's my lady. I am? Don't look like she your lady tonight though. But Gio was not giving up. He managed to chase the couple, tapped the boy on the shoulder, and the boy said, get off me. Don't touch me, alright? You don't seem to have no respect, yo. Gio swung on the boy and missed, and he lost his balance and fell to the floor. The boy laughed along with other kids. Even Lyndon couldn't help laughing. Yo, man, that ain't the way to hold on to your woman. The boy then offered Gio his hand and helped him from the floor. You okay? Gio was okay, embarrassed, but he was okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 1986 spring competition begins! The announcer said. The boy escorted Lyndon off the floor. Then he introduced himself to Gio. I'm Clarence. He offered his hand. I'm Gio. Is she really your girlfriend? Gio had to admit she was not. Besides, he was not going to run the risk of getting embarrassed again by lying because she was standing right there to confirm whether it was true or not. They sat on the bench and talked. One thing they noticed was how easy it was to make friends in that town. Everyone was about going out bowling, skating, enjoying music, and working or going to school. Nobody seemed to have many cares, and nobody had a cell phone. What is a cell phone? Clarence asked when Gio mentioned having owned one. How come don't nobody around here know what a cell phone is? Because we just don't. Well, a cell phone is a mobile phone. It's not hooked up to the wall like landlines are, like the phones in your house. You can take it with you wherever you go. Oh, okay. So you can take it with you. Well, my dad got a car phone, but most people don't have those. Well, if you have a cell phone, you won't need a car phone. Well, I guess that do make sense. Especially if you can take the phone wherever you go. Ooh.
Do you love to celebrate? It's so many things that we can appreciate. Life is a gift. It matters how you use it. Things you see and hear, especially if it's music. We can feel lots of stuff, and one is love, 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 love.
The weekend was the best they had ever had, but by Sunday night, Keisha was missing her mother. She expressed that to Lynn when they were getting ready for bed. I know, I miss my mother too, but I will say the 80s are fun. You still think we in the 80s? Keisha asked. She turned off the light and they talked in the dark. Well, everything our mothers ever described about growing up, we're seeing around us right now. I just keep wondering when we're going to wake up. Or is this some sort of joke our parents are playing on us? Lynn, if anything, it would be Gio playing a joke on us. They are the ones that sent him on the train. His parents was the ones sent him on a train ride to his uncle's house. Yeah. But our parents gave us approval to go with Gio. Yeah, I guess that's true, Lynn. But yeah, I guess. It was not until the next morning that Lyndon found something strange. She had dropped her bracelet on the floor, and when she went to pick it up, she could feel something stashed beneath the carpet. It felt like a lump. She was able to pull back the carpet and discovered what looked like a journal. She opened it and read an entry. April 7th, 1981. Me and Christina, in our efforts to take a little joyride on the train, found ourselves in this town. We are not familiar with anyone, but the people are very nice. I have no clue how we ended up in 1981 when it was 2001 when we left home. Then suddenly, the train came to the end of the line and we were dropped off here. Lyndon thought about that entry in that diary. It stated it was April the 7th when they were brought to Sellertown via a train. 1981, that was exactly 5 years ago if you look at Sellertown at this point being 1986. Once Keisha entered the room, she had her to read the entry. So you think there's some connection? Well, where is this person now, Lynn? Lyndon turned to the back of the book. The person's name was Katie Temp. She wondered if she could learn more about her, but there was no internet. Man, according to this, that's the same thing happened to us. A train just dumped us here. I know. And this is getting very weird, Key. Ooh. Yeah, it is getting weird, Lynn. She told the guys about the entry in the diary once they got to school. She did not have time to read more of it, but she planned to later on when school was out. PE was her last class for the day. Because she was a year older than Keisha, she did not have any classes with her. She was the last person to leave the locker room. She sat on the bench, put on her street clothes in preparation to leave school for the day, and then she noticed something carved on the wooden bench next to where she sat. Someone had carved out the words, Katie T was here, 1981. Her eyes zoomed in on that. Katie T? Had to be Katie Temp, the author of that diary. She grabbed her belongings and headed out of the school. If she had her cell phone, she would be able to take a photo of that entry, of that carving. She opened the diary once she got on the bus. Keisha was sitting next to her, but their new friend named Nichelle, that morning alarm girl, was sitting there talking with Keisha. July 8th, 1981. It feels as if we will be locked in this time frame forever. It has been nearly 3 months. Christina is having a ball though. She is loving it. The music, the culture, just about everything. But I must return to Texas to take care of my grandmother. I cannot stay here too much longer. I'm sure my parents and grandmother are worried, and more than likely to file a missing persons report on me. The bus pulled in front of the house. Lyndon had lots of homework to do, and before she knew it, it was dinner time. Chapter 6. Lyndon did not want to alarm the others too much until she was able to investigate further and find out who Katie Temp was. So the next day, after class, she headed over to the public library. She approached the librarian and said, "Excuse me, do you have a phone book?" "Why, yes, we do. Would you like the white pages or the yellow pages?" Lyndon did not know which was which. All she knew was hearing her mother say that back in the day, whenever they wanted to find someone, they would look in the phone book. I'm looking for someone like a person.
Oh, well then that would be the white pages. Hold on.
The woman handed her the huge book. Lyndon took it to the table, sat down, and leafed through it. But the woman, Katie Temp, lived in Texas according to her diary. She then approached the librarian again. Oh, I'm sorry to bother you again. How would I find someone who lives in Texas?
Oh my, you would have to call 411. We're near the Canadian border. Long ways from Texas.
Oh, okay, I see.
Would you like to call 411?
Lyndon thought she would try that. Nothing would be a dead end but a try. She picked up the phone and dialed 411.
What city and state, please?
The operator asked. I don't know the city, but the state is Texas.
The company name or the person's name?
The name is Katie Temp. First name is Katy. Last name is Temp. Lyndon noticed from her peripheral vision that the librarian looked over at her when she said that. Did she know Katie Temp?
Okay, ma'am, we have 2 Katie Temps in Texas. Do you know the city?
I'm sorry, I sure don't. The operator decided to help her out by saying,
Now, the one that lives in Dallas is unlisted, but the one in San Antonio is listed. Would you like the number?
Yes, could you please give me the one in San Antonio then?
Sure, hold for the number.
Lyndon wrote down the number. She did not know what she was going to do because she had no way of calling the woman. However, the more she gathered information, the more she could find.
Where did you get the name Katie Temp from?
The librarian asked. I saw her name carved on a bench in the girls' locker room at school. That wasn't entirely the truth. Lyndon did not want to let the woman know she had found her diary. What if the woman knew something? And, how come you ask?
Because Katie was here years ago.
Oh, you knew her?
Yes. One day she arrived and disappeared months later. We never did know where she went.
Lyndon allowed the woman to talk. The more she talked, the more the girl learned. Wow. Well, I'm just sort of, curious.
Yes, true. Some of us were curious as well.
Lyndon hurried to the arcade to tell the others what she found. She showed them the diary.
So, what happened to her?
Dale was the first to ask. According to the librarian, she said she just gone away one day.
Y'all, man, that's creepy. That's creepy.
It is creepy.
So what are we gonna do, y'all? I mean, come on. What are we gonna do?
I don't know what we're gonna do, Gio. I have no clue. I don't know, Lynn. What if we stuck here for the rest of our lives?
Yeah, I know, right? Or we'll end up out in space like this Katie person.
Oh, come on, you guys. Come on. Let's not go off the deep end. The woman is somewhere in Texas. You don't listen, Dale. And you don't listen either, Keisha.
Man, it's not that we ain't listening. But how you know that was her? Did you speak to her?
I know I didn't speak to her. Okay. But she wrote in her diary that she's from Texas. Gio then piped in and said,
I know one thing. It's not bad in this town. I never thought I wouldn't go crazy without my phone, but I'm getting used to it. Yeah, know what? And the way I am too.
But what about our families? They're worried, I'm sure.
Aha! Then check this out. You find your way back to chaotic 2026.
Dale said as he stood, emptied his tray in the trash before heading towards the door.
Y'all coming? We gotta get back to the youth house now.
Lyndon followed them out of the building. Dale, are you telling me that you mean you guys want to stay here? She was surprised. They were so nonchalant about all of this.
We been here like, what, over a month? May as well enjoy it, right? Then what? I don't know. Like, we ain't know when we were in 2026. Geo said, Keisha, you're okay with this too? I don't really think it's that bad. But you don't want to know what's happened? You don't want to know any of all of this? But Lynn, come on. When I think about all that crazy stuff going on in 2026, this isn't bad compared to that. Our whole lives have been crazy. They were born in 2010 and 2011. Belonging to a generation that only knew Instagram, social media, the internet, and streaming, they were learning how to be patient. But during the time they were patiently waiting for their favorite TV show to air each week, there was plenty to do, such as bowl, skate, drive-in movies, indoor movies, or just run around and have fun. And the house parties were off the hook. The kids in the 1980s had less to worry about. Chapter 7. The first thing Lyndon did when she woke up Saturday morning was open that diary. Keisha was still asleep. She could smell the breakfast cooking downstairs. They didn't get called for breakfast on weekends until 8 a.m. It was 6 a.m. on weekdays. August 9th, 1981. Christina has found herself a boyfriend. She has accepted being stuck here more than me. I found some information from a man who was here in 1976. He carved his name into the wood on one of the shelves in the library. His name was Ben. He arrived April 7, 1976. Exactly 5 years before I arrived. I am beginning to wonder if there is something significant about the 7th of April, so I asked around. I was told that Ben was here one day and he left without telling anyone. Someone described his departure as the same way he arrived, without notice and suddenly. Now, I need to find out more about Ben. Lyndon viewed this diary entry as just as cryptic as it was informative. She turned the page to read the next entry before hearing the call for breakfast. Keisha finally woke up. She had been at the bowling alley until late the night before. The girls met the boys in the dining room and they sat at the same table. Lyndon pulled out the diary and showed them the entry where Katie stated someone else had arrived exactly 5 years before she did. Y'all, you know what? I don't really think this means that much, Dale said, handing the book right back to her. Put the book away and eat your breakfast. You'll have plenty of time for other things afterwards, a dining room attendant said. Lyndon stashed the book in her small handbag. She could not run the risk of it being confiscated. There was a wall that stated the rules of the dining room. Bringing books and playing cards were prohibited. Lyndon waited until the attendant moved on before saying, Yes, I think it's significant. There is something significant to why we arrived here on April 7th, and there seems to be a pattern of every 5 years. What's the significance, though? Geo asked. He took a sip from his milk carton while waiting for her answer. I don't know that yet, but there is something, guys. There's something. Keisha said you was always a conspiracy theorist. No, wait a minute. I ain't saying like that, Lynn. You got a big mouth, Geo. She tossed a piece of bacon at him after he embarrassed her, and she broke another rule. She looked around to make sure none of the attendants saw her. The dining room began clearing out, and Keisha was thankful no one saw her, because she would have had to stay and help clean for breaking that rule. Yo, are y'all going to the Uno tournament today? Dale asked as they headed down the street towards the arcade. But what time is it supposed to start? Like 4 o'clock. I wish I knew how to play Uno, man. The kids back in the day had way more fun than we did. Yeah, no wonder our parents are always talking about the fun they had in the 80s.
Gio said. Lynn decided to head to the library. She wanted to find that carving that Katie spoke about in her diary. She looked at each wooden shelf that housed the books until she found Ben's carving. Sure enough, it was there. She ran her hands over the carving, feeling each chiseled angle. Questions entered her mind. She wondered how Ben ended up there. Where was he from? Was it the same way as Katie and them, the train? Then she thought about what Gio told her the day they all departed. An older man had told him to visit Sellertown. Perhaps that was Ben? Who else could it be? She hurried out of the library and down to the event where the Uno tournament was taking place.
Miss! Miss! Miss!
She heard someone calling behind her, but she kept on running. The librarian stood there perplexed, holding the receiver of the telephone, wondering why she hurried out there. She hoped she didn't have an emergency.
She just left here,
the librarian told the party on the other end.
I called after her, but she didn't hear me, I guess. Okay, I certainly will.
Once Lynn arrived, she scanned the auditorium until she found a place where the others were sitting. She sat in the empty seat next to Gio and said,
So, how's it going? Clarence is in the lead. He's beating everybody he play. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I thought that would make you happy.
Lyndon ignored Gio's sarcasm and said,
You told us about an old man who was at the train station before we left. Do you remember that? Yeah, he's some weirdo, some weird dude. Okay. But did you ever get that man's name? Nope. Are you sure? Come on, Gio, think real hard. Did he say anything other than, what did he say? Lynn, it's summertime now. Can't you just enjoy the summer? Come on. No, Gio, I'm serious. Gosh.
She was becoming more frustrated with her buddies. They were not taking this seriously. What if they ended up in oblivion somewhere because of being trapped in the past? Katie certainly felt trapped in the past.
You think I'm not serious too? I'm serious too. Well, what can we do about this? Nothing.
Lyndon felt it was because they did not want to do anything about it. She decided to leave it alone for the time being. Chapter 8.
I wonder what Clarence gonna do with all that money from winning the championship.
Gio said as they all headed back to the youth house. The three of them walked down the street. Lyndon was already in her room.
Oh no, I never learned how to play Uno, but I'm gonna learn now, yo.
You ain't never learned how to skate either, Dale. Keisha said.
I never knew how exciting it was until I tried it.
Right, G? Right. Man, there's a whole lot of things that I find very exciting around here. Dale said he remembered the first time he saw Michael placing a boombox next to the radio. When he asked him what he was doing and why he was doing that, Michael told him he was waiting for one of his favorite songs to come on the radio so he could record it. Dale was perplexed. Once the song came on, Michael pressed record and told him to be quiet while it played. Once he was done, he recorded 2 more songs before removing the tape from the recorder.
Then he looked at Dale and said, "Now I got my whole playlist recorded." That's when Dale understood how kids of the 80s made their playlists. But all Dale had to do was download it onto his phone that he used to have. Then he thought about it. Yo, anybody miss their phone? I kind of did at first, but, well, I did a lot at first. I kind of still do now, but I don't know. Yeah, me too, Keisha. But we stay so busy, it's hard to miss anything in 2026, yo. Gio said. Chapter 9. Lyndon fell asleep reading some of Katie's diary. Most of it from that point was about her daily activities. She worked down at the coffee shop, and there was a man who often came in for a hot chocolate who was trying to rap to her. But her focus was on getting back to her life in the year 2001. Lyndon thought about that year. She was not even born at that time. But Katie was from a more recent time. She sprung from her bed, went to the shower room, took a shower, and headed out. It was already daylight, although it was only 6 a.m. She entered the coffee shop and looked around. "May I take your order?" The young man behind the counter said. Yeah, I'm wondering if you can help me. Did you ever meet a woman named Katie Tim? The guy's face showed he immediately knew who she was talking about. Yes, in fact I did, a few years ago. She was around for a few months. She claimed she was from the future, like the 2000 something, whatever. But nobody really ever believed her except Miss Scheller. Miss Scheller? Who is Miss Scheller? The librarian. I'm surprised you don't know her. I saw you talking to her one day. Lyndon knew it was too early to go to the library. They wouldn't open for another 3 hours, so she ordered some coffee and a breakfast biscuit. The young man brought her order once it was ready, but he had a question. If you don't mind me asking, young lady, why did you ask about Katie Temp? I saw something with her name on it not too long ago. Oh, I see. Well, she said she took a train into our town and she said she was back in time or something, She said she was from the year 2000. I remember that. Now imagine that, being from the year 2000. That would be something. Did she say anything else? No, I can't recall. But one day, she turned up missing. She didn't show up for work, and when the boss went to her house to check on her, she was gone. Just vanished, just like that. And you never found out where she vanished to? No. Now, I've heard stories similar to hers. People come in here claiming to be from some year 20 or 30 years in the future and only to disappear later on. You think maybe they ended up back where they came from? Lyndon surely hoped that's how it worked out. But how would they get back? Possibly. But we would never know, now would we? By the way, where are you from? Never seen you around here before. Lyndon wanted to tell him she was from the future. Instead, she said, "Next town over." Okay, well, I hope you're enjoying it here. There's lots to do, And that Lyndon could agree on. Headed to the library, arriving 30 minutes after it opened. She had walked all the way from the coffee shop. She noticed most teens walked wherever they went. Miss Scheller was not there. She had more questions from that woman since she seemed to know and believe Katie. She sat down and was about to read another entry from Katie's diary when she heard someone calling her name. Is there a Lyndon here? She looked up. A librarian she hadn't seen before was standing behind the counter holding the phone receiver. That's me. There is someone on the telephone for you. Lyndon then remembered she didn't make her bed that morning. The RA was probably calling to tell her to either make it or suffer detention. She hurried to the phone. Hello?
Is this Lyndon?
Asked the strange woman's voice. Yes, this is Lyndon. How can I help you?
Yes, you can help me. This is Katie Temp.
Things seemed to stop as Lyndon was totally shocked. You said you're Katie Tim?
Yes, and I've been told you're looking for me. What do you want?
Oh, can you first tell me who told you I was looking for you?
The librarian, Miss Cheller. She called me.
Yeah. Well, I actually was...
What do you want?
Okay. Well, I found your diary. Ma'am, are you still there?
Yes, I am. I was hoping someone would find it. That's why I left it.
Yes, I did find it.
Is that the only reason you are looking for me?
Well, actually, I am from another time, and I heard you were too.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what year is this for you right now?
Right now, it is 2026.
It was for us two, me and my friends and cousin. So you made it back?
Listen to me, young lady. Get back as soon as you can. For every day you stay in Sellertown, you grow old. If you wait too late, you will either die or be in your 50s by the time you reach 2026. It depends on when you get back.
I don't understand. I don't think I understand.
Each time someone from the future ends up in that town, time speeds up another 10 years. Every 5 years, someone ends up in that town.
So you've heard of Ben?
Yes, I have.
So can you tell me what you mean the town speeds up another 10 years if someone from the future only comes here every 5 years?
It does that in order to speed up the process of Sellertown landing on the same time frame as the rest of the world.
Lyndon could not believe what she was hearing.
Eventually, Sellertown will be in 2026. The next person that ends up there will speed it up 10 years into the future.
So what happens if no one from the future comes here in 5 years?
Then the town goes dormant until then. Young lady, I suggest you get back. Do not stay there.
Her message sounded more like an urgent command or a warning than a suggestion. How do I get back? I don't know how to get back. I don't.
I thought you said you read my diary.
I did read it, but...
Apparently, you have not read all of it.
I read most of it, but I haven't gotten to the end yet.
Okay, I'll help you out, kid. Read the very last entry.
Okay, all right. I have one more though. The dial tone was a clear indication that Katie was gone. Lyndon hurried back to the table where she sat. She flipped the diary to the last entry and was astounded by what she read.
August 27th, 1981. Tomorrow I leave. Following Ben's clues, I have calculated that the next train out of here is August 28th. I am delighted to be able to get back home and settle into my life again. I miss my family, but by 12:10 p.m. on August 28th, my dreams of returning home will materialize. I won't even tell anyone I'm leaving. No goodbyes, no hugs, or I miss yous. Just me getting on that train and leaving. Sadly, Christina has decided to stay, but I cannot make her leave. She loves it here. She owes that only to herself.
Chapter 10. The others were in the youth house looking at MTV videos when Lyndon came rushing into the recreation lounge. There were several other teens in there watching videos with them.
Hey y'all, guess what?
Shh! Will you please be quiet? You too loud, someone said. Lyndon headed over to her friends.
Listen, I need to talk to y'all. It's important.
It can't wait. Dang.
Yeah, Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald is doing it.
Okay, Keisha, that's fine. They can do it all day long. I don't care. But it'll come back on sometime tonight. I need to talk to y'all now. Although Dale was also 16, Lyndon was a few months older, making her technically the oldest of them all. In fact, her 17th birthday was in a month. They followed her into the hallway, and she heard someone say,
"About time. They too freaking noisy."
"What would you call us out here for?"
Okay, Gio. Keisha, Dale, listen to me. A train leaves here Thursday.
That's in 2 days. Oh my God.
Keisha said, sounding almost disappointed. Lyndon thought she would at least be more excited than that.
So, what that mean?
Dale, think about it. It means we can leave.
Okay, but can I think about, But, wait a minute. Lyndon, how you know a train is leaving here?
She flipped open the diary and showed them. If we arrived on the same day as Katie, which is April 7th, that means a train comes to return us to where we're from on August 28th. She followed Ben's clues, and we have to follow hers.
Y'all, wait a minute. I don't know about all that.
Dale, wait a minute. You guys are really serious about staying? I mean, you really are?
Yeah, why not?
Dale said, and then he headed back to the lounge. Then Keisha piped in and said, I need to think about it first. I do. Then she followed Dale back in the lounge. Lyndon looked at Gio, nearly begging. Okay, Gio? He shook his head slowly. Lyndon wanted to cry. For the next 2 days, she hardly ate, hardly said much. Nothing she tried worked on them. By the morning of August 28th, her stomach was in knots to the point where she almost wanted to stay. But Katie urged her to return. She hadn't seen much of the others, and Keisha had already gotten up and gone out by the time she woke up. It was nearing the end of the summer, and most of the kids were out school shopping.
Why would she need to go school shopping? Not only was she determined to leave, none of the styles from the mid-'80s would work in 2026, where she intended to return. She cried as she took the books she had accumulated along with her few belongings, packed them in her backpack, and headed to the platform where the train would be arriving. It was now 11:48 a.m. when she arrived. Maybe it was best they didn't see her off. Maybe she should do this alone like Katie did. She looked up the road but didn't see the train in sight. Hey. She heard a voice behind her. When she turned around, the three of them stood there and they hugged her. I'ma miss you, girl, but be safe and don't talk to strangers. Keisha said, mimicking a TV commercial she had seen. Then she hugged her cousin. Yeah, it's almost 12. Do you know where your children are? Dale joked. Lyndon laughed and cried at the same time. Yeah, you know what? Thanks, guys. I know I can't make you come, but thank you so much for coming and seeing me off. Gio took her into his arms and said, I'm going to miss you. I wish I could come, but It's okay. It's okay, G. G, it's okay. You owe it to yourself to do what's best for you, she said, echoing Katie's words from her diary. At least her friends did see her off. But guys, I want y'all to do me a favor. Why? Yeah. So what you want us to do? Find someone named Christina. Okay, I will. Okay, and tell her that her friend Katie misses her. Gio nodded affirmatively, slightly. Okay, now you guys' turn. What do you want me to tell your parents? Gio was the first to begin. Tell them that we okay. Tell them that we okay. Yeah. Tell them we okay. Tell them we're safe. When the train arrived, it stopped. The same conductor stepped off. Are you all getting on or what? He asked them. Yes, I'm getting on. All right then. Train leaves in 10 minutes. They gave her hugs again before she stepped on. They waited on the platform until the train started moving. She waved and they waved back. She wiped her tears. When she looked towards the opposite window, she noticed something in the seat across from her. She could not believe it. It was her cell phone. She got up and grabbed it. She turned it on and couldn't believe it was still working. She saw she got a notification. When she read it, she saw that there was an alert for 4 missing teens. She was stunned looking at the faces of her and the other 3. She pressed the phone to her chest, trying to collect her composure and her emotions. Then she called her mother. Mom, it's me. Oh! Lynn? Oh, Lynn, where are you? Where are you, Lynn? Where have you been? Mom, I'm okay. I'm on my way. Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? What happened? Yes, Mom, yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. Are you with the others, dear? No. What? Where are they? Well, Mom, they're okay. It's complicated. but they want their parents to know they're okay. Oh, no, Lyndon. Where are they? Where is Keisha? Where is Dale? They're in a town called Sellertown. Sellertown? Lyndon, nobody has lived in Sellertown for decades. Mom, I will explain everything when I get home. But for now, Keisha and the others are okay, and they said they will be okay. Okay, I can't wait to see you. And I love you, and I'm glad you're okay. But baby, you got some explaining to do. Some real explaining. I'll be at the station waiting on you. I love you, darling. I love you too, Mom. I can't wait to see you. When she looked at the notification on her phone again, the report had been updated to 3 missing teens instead of 4. Just that quickly. She looked out the window again, watching the scenery as the train made its way.
Yeah, sometimes they don't come back, baby. Sometimes they don't come back, come back. Sometimes they don't come
Most people embark on a journey with a specific purpose, a vacation, a visit out of town to an old friend, or just a joyride. But if you discover that journey has no particular place, you may find yourself in a town that could only exist within the bounds of the Attic series.
Sometimes they don't come back. Y'all saw that? Only 1 went back. 3 still missing. According to 2026, they in another time zone, lost somewhere in time and space. But they obviously are enjoying it because they wasn't trying to come back to chaotic 2026. And who would want to? If you had a chance to go back and go somewhere else and not be in the time frame we're living in today, because it is chaotic. And even those kids were smart enough to say, hey, we'll just take this. I don't care about no cell phones. I don't care about the internet. We got plenty to do. It's fun over here in 1986. And I'm sure a lot of you Gen Xers, especially you younger Gen Xers, can understand that. Growing up in 86, by the time you were in your teens, 1986. Anyway, 1 went back though, but she had a different way of looking at it. And I don't blame Lyndon per se. Lyndon, she was a pretty smart girl, had her head on pretty straight, but she decided to go back. I'm sure she's gonna miss her friends, but hey, that it is what it is. But anyway, don't forget to tune in to my next one. That one is gonna be called Lost. And so I think it'll be next weekend. I'm not sure. Next weekend will be what, the 20 something, whatever. Anyway, it'll be a week from tonight, whatever date is tonight. Yeah. All right, y'all. Take care and have a good night. And it's springtime. All right. Bye.